Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain. Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, welcome everybody to another amazing episode of the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Homeless Veteran Transition Program, Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, and as you know, we have another amazing show for you. Have some amazing guests, some stakeholders in our community. But this would not be the Common Good Radio Show if I did not give grace to a very loving Father that makes this all possible for us here today, even you to listen, me to be here with you, and us all to be so very blessed. I usually think with the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So, all that being said, as I promised, we have some amazing guests for you today. Our first guest we have, I feel like every single time I have them on, I'm like on the brink of crying, because it reminds me either of my 97 and 96-year-old grandparents, who our family really had a challenge with getting connected with the care they needed, or even the 72-year-old Marine with dementia that we had in our own program that I myself spent years trying to figure out how do we get him the care that he needs, and thank God we finally figured it out. But if I would have had the help of this organization and this group of amazing women, my life would have been a lot easier, definitely a lot less stress, and even our program as a whole, which is, an awesome program that I'm so proud of, would be a lot more efficient, run a lot smoother with their help, and even just with their knowledge base. So I say all that to say, welcome back to the show, Kimberly and Sophia with Arizona Home Choice Care Solutions.
One more time, do it again.
Wait, Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions. Yes. It's just like, I just have to move the words around. It's like a Scrabble game. So yeah, thank you for being here. And so for those who don't know what Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions is, fill them in.
Totally. Yeah. So women-owned, veteran-owned, independent agency. We strive on keeping seniors independent as possible. Keep them at home. Whether it's single family home, an apartment, assisted living, really providing support to them with activities of daily living. Shower assist, meal prepping, medication reminders, laundry. I mean, really, we are there to provide support to our seniors.
Yeah. And I think the big thing that I've learned so far from you is like, and it's funny, us as veterans, we're so like headstrong and so stubborn. We feel like, okay, we just need help when my leg's about to fall off, or when it's like it's an absolute emergent situation where it's like, no, you can get help here at the beginning when you start having issues, when it's kind of when you're on the onset of it, so that way when it really is that do or die situation, you've already have all that care set up, and you can do that step up versus having to get it figured out at that point.
Yeah, we really want to prevent that. So we want to prevent the fall that's going to lead to the panic.
Awesome.
So with us there, it's totally preventable.
Yeah, and today, as much as I always enjoy having the two of you in studio, you guys actually brought someone else here today, and I got to hang out with her before you guys even got here. So we were having fun playing rock, paper, scissors. She won 2 out of 3 times, but that doesn't count. But introduce who's our new friend.
Yes, it is Jeannie. We actually connected, really, I think through LinkedIn. Yes. She owns Senior Placement Solutions, and yeah, she's in our community, and she helps our seniors as well. You want to tell everyone what you do?
Yes, of course. And thank you all for having me on your program.
Yeah.
Finding assisted living for a loved one can be an overwhelming process, and many things to take into consideration. My company, TLC Senior Placement, will help families and their loved ones identify the best quality in senior living. This includes independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our goal is to take away the confusion throughout the entire process, because it can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. And
You
I'll ask you,
Yeah.
Jeannie, but then I'll open this up to, we'll do round circle table here. Sophia, then Kimberly, following with the same question. What inspired you to get into this line of work, and what do you do? What do you feel is like the most rewarding part of it?
The most rewarding part is when at the end of the journey, the family says, I can go home tonight and sleep well.
That hit
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
That hurt. You're trying to make me cry, aren't you? I'm not going to do it. I told you I wouldn't do it. Not today. What about you, Sophia? You look like you got some make me cry in you too.
Kind of the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
On the other end, I want them to go home knowing that their loved one is in their home, happy and safe. So while they're still able to be in their home, they don't need a higher level of care yet. The family can have peace of mind knowing that their loved one has a hot meal.
Yeah.
I mean, some of our loved ones, they cannot prepare their own meal. They cannot get themselves to and from the bathroom. That peace of mind goes so far for a family member, and I love that.
Yeah, and I've heard the story before, Kimberly. Thankfully, on a couple occasions, I've got to sit with you and kind of hear your testimony. But kind of to the beginning of that question, what inspired you to get into this line of work and working with this population?
I really never knew I wanted to work with this population until I had the opportunity to. But really, I'm a Tucson native. I love Tucson. I love my community. And what better way to give back to my community than to provide care to seniors? Because God willing, we're all going to get there one day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I want to do, give
That's
back to my
cool.
community.
And Jeannie, how do you see the services from your organization and those of Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions? I said it right that time. Working together.
Well, everyone wants to stay in their home, and Arizona Choice does a fantastic job, and I fully support everything that they do. However, at some point, once they're through with your services, and they can't stay at home any longer, and it's time for assisted living, and that's where we kind of complement each other.
Absolutely. And as much as we want to keep seniors at home for as long as possible, there may just be a point where they're just no longer safe there, even with the help of us, whether they are combative or they're a flight risk, or even with home care, there could be a time where it's time for them to go into memory care and assisted living.
And it's really important to
Right.
us that the family has someone they can trust, and someone like Jeannie, who we feel is in it for all the right reasons. Someone they
I
can
am.
trust once they get to that point that we can say, hey, we have this resource. She's going to help you find the right place, and we'll be there to transition into that.
Exactly.
And it's interesting. I mean, as you're kind of like describing it, and in my head, I'm seeing it's almost like, in a lot of ways, Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions is almost like the Angie's List for like senior care, where it's like, okay, if you want to know who to trust, or you kind of like you're not sure where to start or who to talk to, go to Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions, and they'll connect you with amazing organizations like Jeannie, amazing practitioners, and they'll explain to you who to trust and why to trust them.
And give
Does
you
that sound
resources.
about right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Resources, solutions. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Our
awesome.
name says it all.
Yeah. and you first, Jeannie, before we jump out here, for people who want to utilize your services and get help from you, how can they do that?
Well, the first thing is for us to sit down and get to know each other. It's very important for me to understand the budget and the healthcare needs.
Okay. And then
So-
the phone number and website they can get a hold of you through.
Absolutely. 520-904-0207. And my website is tlcseniorplacement.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Sure.
And Kimberly, please tell us about how people can get a hold of Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions.
Absolutely. Give us a call, 520-900-8757. They can do a contact request information through our website at www.azchoicehomecare.com.
Perfect.
You can also find us on Facebook, and we will soon be on Instagram.
Awesome. I will be looking out for sure. Well, thank you all so much for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Thank you all for listening. This is Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. We will be right back after break. But as always, let's thank our sponsors, Proper Villains, For Tucson, We Care Tucson, 100 plus guys who give, White Sign Ranch, Tucson Tool Shop, Don Till Dust Landscaping, Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions, our very favorite, Hope Dealers Global, CB2BGA, and Pep Inc. You guys hang out right there, and if all the sunshine in your life has gone away, it may just be nighttime.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, and here in studio we have one of my favorite people in Tucson, definitely representing one of my favorite organizations in Tucson. If you haven't had the good fortune of hearing them on the show before, you are lucky you're here now. And the name of that organization is For Tucson. And don't let me ruin it. Let's let Lakeisha Dion, the CEO of For Tucson, explain to us what exactly is For Tucson.
Wow. So first of all, just thank you. I love being here.
Yeah. Isn't this fun?
It is fun. It is. It's like we get to catch up really quickly before we get on air. And then now I get to share with everyone. So For Tucson is a Christian nonprofit which focuses on systemic issues in our city. Some of the very key issues that we're focused on right now is our housing in the city. So we do a lot of partnerships with other nonprofits that are focused on helping the unhoused and homeless. We work closely with the city of Tucson's housing department and all of those agencies, again, working on those areas. And then churches who have the heart to serve those that are unsheltered and unhoused. But we also dive into education. We dive into issues that are preventing people from flourishing due to poverty and economic opportunity. So we really get to, which I love to do, is to get to love and learn our city and then share a lot of that research with others who have that same love for our city and want to see our city flourish. So super excited about being able to do that.
Yeah, I love how you say that, because I am one of those people. You know, it definitely was. It feels like forever ago, but not too long ago, surprisingly enough, that you had a forum similar to the one you had recently, except for it was from an even farther view. We kind of like we're getting more scoped as time goes in. Where we were talking about, I just think like homelessness as a whole and kind of where are the solutions in the community around that. And now we've, just recently, within the past 2 weeks, we had the housing forum with and every time I go to it, granted, every time I go to a For Tucson event, I say this, but definitely at this particular event, I say, in this room, we're looking at nothing but stakeholders that want to put their resources, put their minds together toward this. And it was super fun for me. One, not only did I get to bring my 18-month-old and she got to sit in at least 15 laps at the forum and be the belle of the ball, but it is, one of the main reasons that I was drawn to For Tucson in the first place is, For Tucson's place and putting its neck on the line or putting skin in the game and trying to figure out how can we address these issues.
It's amazing to me at each time we get ready to gather over any one of the topics that we're talking about. The toughest thing is to get the right people in the room. And as you said, that we've kind of had this broad overarching view of what housing looks like in the city of Tucson, the lack of inventory, the lack of affordability in Tucson, and then also of course the homeless situation that we're dealing with, like many cities are dealing with. And so we look at it from this broad lens, but then each conversation, we try to go down deeper and try to remove a lot of myths and misunderstandings on the topic. And one of the things that we love to do after each gathering is to dive back into research and see, did we get this right? You know, we heard this comment over here. Was that an accurate comment? You know, and what are these different viewpoints and why do we have these different viewpoints? And then we can come back and share the new research as we go deeper and deeper into this conversation. And with our latest conversation, or even the one that we had in October, which was amazing because we had 19 different organizations represented there between churches, the marketplace, within the nonprofit space, all with the heart to serve a very vulnerable part of our community, and that's the unhoused, from those that are suffering with addiction, from those that are aging out of foster care, from people who were just pushed out of the market with, you know, rent and housing and being able to afford that. In each one of those areas, it requires a different solution. It's not a one size fits all type of thing. And so as we dive deeper and deeper into this, we're noticing that there's people who God's just tethered their heart to a very specific demographic. And instead of us all trying to force the solution into one container, one, you know, solution, For Tucson is able to support by continuing to invite those that have similarly aligned visions in this solution, and really help kind of grow whatever this group is going to be that's going to help serve those that are aging out of foster care, help serve those families that have been priced out of the market, and all of these different areas. And we just get to take the friends that we get to make friends with and then introduce them with new friends. And at the table, they're all coming together with these solutions. And that's the fun part. When we gather, we're not just sitting there listening to somebody share about something. We're actually deep into design and generating solutions, which is fun.
Yeah, and I mean, like you're saying, whether it's the October form or this most recent form, I love how much I always learn from each person at the different groups. But there's definitely always seems to be a person or a couple people that really kind of stick out. They bring a little something new that I've never even heard about, even though I've been working kind of in this industry for 16 years. And one of those, there was a gentleman last time that was speaking about kind of a series of inventory, if you will. That it was, you know, kind of a fresh idea to me. I guess speak to that, because that kind of, I think, pivots us to what you guys got going next in this area.
So it's really cool because we intentionally go out and meet friends. And we met this gentleman by the name of Christopher Ortega. He's from GHK Properties. So it's a for-profit property development firm that partners with ministries and churches and be able to share with them how they can utilize unused real estate that ministries and churches have in order to bring either more housing or more opportunities within the community. And it's kind of twofold. You're serving the community, but then the church is also getting financial resources back into their pocket by being able to steward this, you know, land or real estate or whatever it is. And on top of that, be able to present a solution that can better the community. And so Christopher was able to share how, as a project manager, their firm provides not only ways to build a financial plan around doing things like this, but also how they are invested into the project for 30 years plus. So they just don't get the project up and running. They, you know, get whatever resources out of it that they're supposed to get out of it and jump ship. They're there for at least 30 years. And we just loved what he was able to share really quickly with the group. And we just knew it warranted more time. And so he's coming back to join us through a webinar to share more details about how you can leverage ministry or ministry land and real estate in solving a lot of our city's issues.
And when is that webinar?
So that is the last Tuesday of this month from 11:30 to 12:30, and you
Okay.
can find more details about that on fortucson.com under our event section.
Awesome. And then we got probably about a minute so we have to jump out here. But I know you have a big event coming up here in about a week and a half, probably, when this airs. Tell us about that.
So it's the Tucson Jericho Ride. We have a bunch of motorcyclists that want to travel around the city, pray for our city, and then they're going to stop at 3 different sections within our city and pray. And then everyone's going to end up at Reed Park around 12 o'clock,
Nice.
noon, for just celebration, live music, continued prayer from the stage, food trucks, vendors, ministries. It's just one of those celebratory things.
It's a good time.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so that's Saturday on March the 22nd.
Awesome.
And the ride starts at 8, and the celebration starts at 12 at Reed Park.
So much good stuff.
Yes.
My goodness. So for more people who want to plug in, volunteer, donate, be involved, how can they do that?
Just go to fortucson.com. All of our information's there. You can reach out through email, through telephone. Again, it's all on fortucson.com. And then we're on all of the social media outlets as well, too. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah,
All the goodies.
all the goodies.
Well, thank you as always, Lakeisha.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's Lakeisha Dion, CEO of Fort Tucson. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next week. God bless.